Hey guys, it's Joseph here with the first video on the new series in my YouTube channel, which is going to be Scratch Reviews. I'm now changing the name of my YouTube channel and the icon, so if you're searching for me again, then just look up Joe Stuff. So today we're going to be making this really cool brick breaking game in Scratch, where you bounce the ball off the paddle, which you drive around with your mouse, and you have to break all the bricks, and if you miss, then it says game over. And then if you win, it's going to say you win. But you probably don't want to sit here and watch me do all those. There's 28 of them. But I'm going to show you step by step how to do this thing today. So without further ado, let's get into making this cool brick breaker game. I'm just going to stop the project. And you're going to want to make a new project in Scratch. So if you haven't already made an account in Scratch, go ahead and do that. And then jump over to a new project, which I've already made here, and when it opens up, it's going to open up with just a cat sitting here, and we're going to go ahead and name it something else like Cool Brick Breaker Game or something. Name it whatever you want. And then go ahead and click the little trash can icon next to the cat, because we aren't going to need that one for this. So, the first step we're going to do is we're going to make the paddle first, and this is going to be very simple, but we're going to go ahead and start with that. So go down to choose a sprite, except we're going to press paint up here. I'll open up the paint editor here. We're just going to select a color. I'm just going to kind of select, I don't know, orange, I guess. And then just going to take the rectangle tool and draw one. This kind of thing. You can see on the screen how it's going to look, and I'm just going to shorten mine a little bit. Be a little wider than that. And it's a good idea to take the little crosshairs and center it over there so it'll snap to it like that. So you can see it right there. And so that's we've got a pretty good paddle going here. And so now that's all we're going to need for that. So we'll go back over to the code tab up here. And then click on the events category and drag a one green flag clicked out. So the one green flag clicked, of course, means when you click this. This is basically when the program is started. When you start the program, you want to do whatever's underneath here. So now I'm just going to go here, grab a set rotation style, and instead of left right, we're going to set it to don't rotate, because we don't want this thing to turn. But we'll see. You'll see what that's for in a minute. So we're going to control and grab a forever, so it does it through the entire program. When you click the green flag, it'll keep doing it over and over again. Point towards mouse pointer. Now we don't want it to point towards mouse pointer, but since it's set to don't rotate, then it won't point. It'll just kind of glide over to it. It won't move until we add a move 10 steps block like that. And we don't want it to move towards the mouse pointer like it's going to happen now, like this. We don't want him to be able to do that. What we want instead is for it to stay down below. So we're going to grab a set, or not change, set Y. And we're going to say set to -140. So that's all the coding for that paddle. And you notice it acts just like the one in the regular game does. So it just glides over to where your mouse is. Like that. So that's that part. Next we'll move on to making the ball. The tennis ball that kind of bounces all over the screen and off the paddle. So we're going to grab sorry about all those notifications from Facebook. Anyway, we're going to go down here and click on choose a sprite this time. And we're going to scroll down here and you need to find the tennis ball. In fact, a good way to do this is to just type in 10, which will get tennis ball. So that makes a tennis ball right here. And we aren't going to change the size of it or anything. That'll work. Go to the events and grab a one green flag clicked. And then a forever block from the control category. And then also an if block from the control category. Then go to the green operators and grab a less than block and set the left side of that to -140. Then go up to motion and grab a Y position. So basically, if Y position is less than negative 140, so basically if this ball is below the end of the screen, we want it to say game over. So we're just starting with this beginning part. Whoops. I'm going to put that inside. We're going to make it broadcast game over. Now we're going to use that broadcast later. So just put this to the side for right now. And then we're going to go grab another one green flag clicked in the events. And then in the motion, we're going to say go to, because we don't want it to just start out where it last ended. We're say go to 0 and 0, like that. We want to go to the very middle of the screen. That's x0 and y0. So the x coordinate here, we're going to go to 0 and y0. So they'll put it right in the middle. Then we're going to get a point direction. Point direction 135. It just kind of makes it so that it goes this way instead of just straight down. So it gives the player a little more time to see what's going on. Go to control and grab a wait 1 second. And then also grab a forever from there. And then go to the motion, grab a move 10 steps. And an if on edge bounce from down here. So if it's on the edge of the screen, it's going to bounce off. But all it'll do is go this way, and then it'll bounce off and come back straight back in. So we want it to kind of go doing, 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 like that. So we're going to get an if block here. Go to the sensing and grab a if touching sprite 1, which is this, which is the paddle. Touching sprite 1. Then we're going to go up to the motion and grab a point and direction. Point direction operators minus point direction 180. We're putting this side minus the motion direction. So forever, move 10 steps if on edge bounce, if touching sprite 1, which is our paddle, point direction negative 180 minus direction. And then we're going to go into the controls and grab a repeat, a repeat until block, and put it inside that if block. And grab a not, and not touching sprite 1. And then move 10 steps, like that. There. So that should make the ball wait 1 second, and then you notice it will bounce around the screen. It'll also bounce off the paddle, but it does bounce around the screen even if it goes down here. It doesn't say game over or anything. That's because we haven't programmed that yet. We're going to be doing that in a later part of the video. Next thing we're going to do is one which is not very complicated, about the same as the one we just now had, which is the bricks. So now go down and click choose a sprite and click on button 2. This is way really big right here. So we're going to go and grab a one green flag clicked. And in the looks, we're going to say set size to 50%. And the motion, go to negative 200, 140. Then the looks, we're going to say hide. And in the control, we're going to say repeat a number of things. It says repeat 10, so we're going to go 4. And inside that, we're going to grab another repeat thing and say 7. Now, of course, you could just say repeat 28, but we're actually going to put stuff inside the repeat 4, but outside of the repeat 7. So inside of the repeat 7, we're going to put change x by 65, and also create clone of myself. Okay, now you're going to go over to the motion and grab a change y by 10 block, We're going to change that to -30. And then grab a set x block. We're going to make it set x to 200, which is already there. So set x to 200. And then now go over to when I start as a clone. So when it makes a clone, it's going to go over here and do whatever's under here. So what we want it to do when it starts as a clone is to show, first of all. We want it to actually be able to see it. And then grab a forever if block, or forever and then if. They don't have forever if blocks anymore. Touching tennis ball. Then go into the variables and change this score variable that we made by 1. And then delete this clone. So with the score variable, all that you had to do was go over to make a variable, type in it in, and press OK. And I already did that because this is my second time recording this part of the video. So there's that thing, and it should work perfectly now, making lots of bricks. So that's really cool. That. Now, because this was my second time recording this part of the video, you might have a glitch that I don't have, which is that the ball goes plowing through all of the bricks at once. I'll show you that, which is this. If you have that happening to yours, I'm not surprised. So all you have to do is go down here and drag out the touching sprite 1 thing, grab an OR block. I'm just gonna show you to make sure you know I do it right. I'm just gonna go to the operators and grab an OR block, pop it in there, and then right click and select duplicate for this, and select button 2 and pop sprite 1 into the other one. So now it'll bounce off of the brick as well as the paddle and the sides of the screen, so that you don't just go plowing through all of them at once. That. But as you can see, it's when you lose, you don't lose, it just bounces. So we're gonna make that part next. Go down to choose a sprite, and we're gonna select the paint. And I think we'll take a color kind of like maybe a nice losing red. I'm gonna turn on caps lock and say game over, like that. Drag it out big so you can see it. And inside the code, I'm gonna say when I receive game over, because if you recall, back here in the tennis ball, if it's at the bottom of the screen, it's going to broadcast game over. So this thing will receive game over. And when it does receive it, then it's going to show this thing and stop the whole game. So we're going to the looks and say show, and then control and say here and say stop all. We'll grab one green flag clicked, and then go into the looks and take a hide. We don't want it to be there when we first start. And then the motion, we'll tell it to go to X, Y. We'll say go to X0, Y0. That. So there's the game over. So if we do this and then we lose, then it says game over and stops the whole game. So now if we go down to choose a sprite and then paint again, we're going to make it where you win now. So I'm going to choose kind of a winning green. And then type you win. And blow it up big. That. Then go to grab a one green flag clicked inside of the you win. And say hide. And go to 0 and X0, Y0, just like game over, 1. Because we don't want it to, you don't want to win right when you first start. That would be boring. So now there's nothing that we had set up for broadcasting you win, and that's because we have to figure out when all of the bricks are broken. But that's easy because we already have the score, and every time you break a brick, it changes the score by 1. So that's easy to do. You just go up to the controls and grab a forever and pop it underneath that. An if. And then we'll grab a less than block from in here. That. Or excuse me, not a less than, I'm sorry about that, equals. And the variables will say score. And so we're going to say if the score equals 28, which is how many bricks there are. If score equals 28, which is how the very furthest you're going to be able to do it, then we want it to show this and stop all. that. So that is the whole game right there. If you miss, it says game over, and you can test it out for yourself, because if you win, it'll say you win, but I know you don't want to watch me play through this entire game. So that is how you make a really cool brick breaker game in Scratch. Come back soon, because I'm going to be making more Scratch tutorials for my Scratch playlist, which I'll be putting them in on YouTube. Just search for Joe Stuff. Thank you guys, and I'll see you again soon.